All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemar Kakodash, the abundance of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, I got this lesson going into the calm before the storm. Today's date, March 18th. It's 4:30. It seems fairly at ease in the state of Georgia. You have all kind of different states that's declaring state of emergencies, as well as the state of Georgia, you have emergencies and things of that nature, but people are still at ease, in some of these regions and some of these states. So it's kind of somewhat like a calm before the storm, before major storms hit, you know, especially around hurricane season. You always have analysts and news reporters that project, the devastation, and they always put it in certain categories and certain levels before it hits, and tell what people to bunker up, tell people to, when it's emergency, certain people to run out of their areas and things of that nature, and that same energy is being pushed today. But see, the difference is with this COVID-19 coronavirus, the Wu virus, whatever you want to call it, um, people are stuck in their cities, man. You stuck at home. You're in a frozen. You're basically frozen in your location. And that's where faith has to come in. That's where faith in Yahweh Shema Shah, the Lord, has to rest within you so that you can be able to overcome all the perils to come, man. Because a lot of people are dying from this. A lot of people are getting contracting the hell of sicknesses, and a lot of people are losing faith, and a lot of people are scourging. City to trying to go city to city. Massive hoarding of goods. Panicking is at an all-time high. And us brothers in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, we have to just sit back and at the end of the day, trust in the Lord. Of course, there's certain measures that men of the Lord take. You have to, of course, make sure that you're on point. Make sure that you have, what's sufficient for you. Make sure you're taking your herbs and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it's what the scripture says. If there's evil in the city, have not the Lord done it? The Lord is the one that's pushing this evil out. Throughout these different regions of not only the United States but all over the world. And I have this article. What if our country's going to look? What is our country going to look like if millions of Americans start dying from the coronavirus? You have it, the pandemic. Matter of fact, and I'm just gonna jump straight into it. It says, according to the New York Times, a closed-door meeting was held last month among CDC officials and dozens of epidemic experts from around the world. One of the CDC's leading epidemiologists presented four scenarios named A, B, C, and D to show possible ways the virus could spread throughout the U.S. population. The Federal Health Agency projected that in the worst case scenario, between 160 and 214 million people would be sick. Yeah, and that's true. You have Donald Trump that said maybe around August, maybe in the fall, that's when this sickness will lose its grip upon the world. They'll have a vaccine, people will be treated around that time. But if you look at the trajectory and you see the number of cases, which you could go on Worldometer. I did a lesson, a couple of days ago on Worldometer on coronavirus. You see that this thing is America's is soon to look like little China, man. If you really want to be technical, Chinese numbers are still at 80,000. They've been at 80,000 for the past days. They haven't even been jumping drastically. I'm on the site on my phone right now. I looked at it earlier today. It was only like 97,000 cases. It's at 217,000 cases now. And China just jumped up 13 cases. It's still at 80,000. Italy jumped up 4,000 cases. The United States jumped up 1,600 cases. It's at 8,000. The United States of America is going to soon surpass South Korea through the spirit. I believe it's going to surpass France. I believe Germany's numbers just jumped up 3,000. It's at 12,000 total cases. Um, but the United States is not that far behind, and you have these officials that's getting together, and they project 116 to 214 million people dying, and if I mean being sick, and if it has a 2.5 to 4% kill rate, then millions of people are still going to die from that 116 to 214 million sickness. But I'm going to continue on. It says, do you think that our society is equipped to handle a crisis of that magnitude? I certainly don't. And everybody knows that. All right. You have CDC officials, medical experts, virologists, economic researchers, everybody, that actually has, economic intelligence, have a certain IQ when it comes to societal norms and how stability holds. They don't see America coming through unscathed when this sickness if it actually touches these different numbers. It says hopefully the measures that are now being taken will slow the spread of this virus, because if that does not happen, researchers at Imperial College London are projecting 2.2 million Americans could die. Yeah, and through the spirit, I did the same. I did the same research with just looking at the numbers every day, because I take a picture of these numbers day by day. Lord willing, I could maybe have a compilation, or a day by day picture module to show how these numbers constantly keep jumping up. And I said, by summertime, if this thing keeps going how it's gonna go, it's gonna touch the millions of people will die from this. If the numbers keep jumping sporadically or drastically, how they jumping now, millions of people are gonna die. And like I said, this is the calm before the storm, because you still have people that's still trying to be at ease, just chill, be patient. The government is going to help assist us. You have a National Guard rolling throughout, shutting things down, and we know the plans of the elite is for a global totalitarian system. For them to present the mark of the beast, which is the radio frequency identification device, and full omnipotence, full control, and they're using this as a biological weapon. And it's been all kind of different articles and statements going into how the United States has created this to be a weapon, to weaponize amongst the people. And you see how the states are capitalizing on this virus. They're extremely ill equipped, and they feel like their only remedy is to bring out the National Guard. You had the New York, if I'm not mistaken, the mayor or the governor, Cuomo. He was speaking about how he's ill prepared. He doesn't have a sufficient amount of resources, and he needs the National Guard to be out there. He said he spoke to Trump, or he wrote letters to Trump. He's been trying, through his staff and things of that nature, to get the Trump to just get the National Guard out there. And what do you have? You have the New York on shutdown, and as well California's San Fran. These different places, and it's starting to become cities and states that's being shut down. So it says the report is also influencing planning by the Trump administration. Deborah Birx, who serves as the coordinator of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, cited the British analysis at a news conference Monday, saying her response team was especially focused on the report's conclusion that an entire household should self-quarantine for 14 days if one of his members is stricken by the virus. The Imperial College London group reported that if nothing was done by government and individuals and the pandemic remained uncontrolled, 510,000 would die in Britain and 2.2 million in the United States over the course of the outbreak. Yeah, and those numbers are extremely accurate. And that's only Britain alone. If this thing goes on, over 1 million people will die in Italy. And of course the United States has roughly 300 million citizens, but for 2.2 million people, that's a large bracket of the economy being crushed by this virus. And how is that going to affect the economy on a whole? How is that going to affect production when everybody's sitting at home and you have no type of commerce, you have no type of trafficking? Trafficking is at an all-time low in these different regions. Products are at an all-time low. You have governments that's trying to halt um, and it's not trying to ship out and distribute is not as highly because what they need their products in order to stay home. So what happens in turn? There's if one nation produces and is not exporting, then another nation is not receiving imports, which results into a famine, which is a scarcity of products, a scarcity of bread. You know, and it's so much into this article. If brothers get the time, of course, read into it through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. I wanted to jump down to this trajectory, to show United States is looking like little Italy, and Italy is looking like little China, man. But this is the trajectory. It says many would like to believe that the same thing won't happen here, but the truth is that the United States is on the exact same trajectory as Italy. And you have Sunday the 223, and you have Wednesday the 3rd, and it says increases from day to day. And if you look at it, it's damn near the exact same model. From the 3rd, to the 5th, you see. And in my opinion, which if I'm not mistaken, Italy is right now as we speak, or as I speak, the total cases are 35,713 with 4,000 new cases that popped up. And the United States is 8,000 cases with 1,600 cases that popped up. And in my humble opinion, I believe that America is going to catch Italy. And if it doesn't catch Italy, Italy is going to go through some of the most disastrous time it has in ages, man. This type of pandemic is global. This is history being written and etched in the earth as we speak. And I'm gonna jump into a couple of scriptures through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. I'm not gonna go be too long-winded with this article. And it's dozens of articles that's coming out, through the spirit of the Lord. This is the time to just read and study, man. Study, like the brothers were saying, get in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, fast, pray that the Lord has his protectionary hedge around you and the brotherhood and your families. Stay in the spirit of, doing these different lessons, going into these different articles, blowing that trumpet, sounding the alarm, chanting down Babylon, destroying these strongholds, because, hey, the Lord said that he's going to, take this place out with famines, pestilence. And we haven't seen the famine yet. People are all bugged out right now by the pestilence. This is just one wave, man. The Lord has plenty more waves that's going to, totally wipe this place clean. So this is Matthew 5, and I'll start at 44. It says, "But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust." Right, and we're seeing, which, through the spirit that somewhat goes into something else, but at the end of the day, that speaks volumes how the Lord said that he lets rain upon the just and the unjust, as well as the sun to shine upon the unjust and the just. So the hell that we see that Esau is catching, it's affecting our economy too through the spirit. Our bread and butter is to hit the highways and byways. And at the end of the day, we don't trust in the highways and byways. We've been speaking this, starting off with the apostles and the elders for years, that there's going to be a famine of this word, man. Because with all these different cuts, what happens when they cut the internet? And you isolated in your house without internet, without cable, you're going to have people that's trying to, that's going to look to jump off these different balconies, man. And you're going to have national, and what happens if you have National Guard out here that's making it where you can't move, man. You can't make any type of effective moves. You can't make any type of power moves to to get to where you need to get to, because now they're boiling it down to three factors. If you leave in your house, you should be working out, you should be getting medicine or getting food. That's it. And Trump projects it to be the middle of middle to the end of the year, around August time. But at the end of the day, it could last longer than that. What if this thing lasts for 2 years? What if it lasts for 3 years? We don't know. And that they claim that they have a vaccination, But at the end of the day, you know, they're gonna use this opportunity, because what is Esau? Esau is an opportunist predator. He's known as a lion. Lions use any opportunity, and any type of predator, apex predator, uses any opportunity to make sure that they're fed, make sure that they can take out the enemy. You know, make sure that they have enough leverage in order to satisfy their lust, or satisfy their greed. And Esau is known as a greedy man. He wants full control of the earth. Revelation, the 18th chapter. So I'm gonna read this in Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Right. So we're in troubling times, and it's the time of our trouble also. But at the end of the day, what makes us different than these other individuals is we're going to be saved out of it. Out of these, the 7 billion people, worldwide, a lot of people are going to fall from the sword, and the sword was created to fall upon the wicked. And the Lord created the sword. The Lord gave the sword of the blessing of the sword to the Edomites to use to kill, steal, and destroy. John 10:10, Revelation 6. And we're seeing these things come within our front door, and brothers shouldn't be in a panic. Brothers' hearts shouldn't be thumping, constantly, sweating profusely. Sit back and eat, chew on the popcorn and let the fireworks pop, man. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shemal Shai. Of course, like I said, you stay on point these times. This isn't a time to relax. We shouldn't be at ease. We should be, working. We should be around the clock in this thing too. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be bugging out, like the masses of these people. So like I said, there's a lot of good stuff on this article. It's tons, dozens, scores of articles that's coming out that's going into this coronavirus. I wish I could go, through the whole thing, but through the essence of time, I gotta move on to the next one. So I want anybody giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemal Shai by Shemar Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Akim.